Since I'll be seeing Mufasa later, let's talk about the 2019 Lion King movie. Probably don't need to say this, but spoilers ahead, so kid that like button, come back later. So yeah, I definitely have some mixed feelings over this movie. My favorite character in this film has to be Scar. Scar is one of my all-time favorite Disney villains just due to the fact that he's a very irredeemable villain. And usually when Disney does a live-action remake, they try their very best to make their villain very sympathetic, unlike in the original movie. But it was actually pretty surprising to see that in the live-action remake, Scar was still a very bitter brother towards Mufasa and was just evil for the sake of being evil. Though that is kind of one of the reasons why I don't want to see Mufasa later. I mean, I just do not want to redeem Scar's character whatsoever. I'm probably going to like the storyline a lot because it does have a lot of interesting ideas to it, but I do not want to redeem this guy anymore. So if you were to ask me about which version of Lion King you should watch, the animated version or the 2019 version, I definitely gotta say you gotta watch the animated version. This movie does have some good things though, like some gorgeous cinematography, though the cinematography in this movie is pretty much all it has going for me. Even though this movie is marketed to be a live action film, it most certainly is an animated film though. Like, there's just so much CGI in this film. It's good CGI, but it's a lot of CGI, so you can't really classify it as a live action film in a way. If anything, the only thing that's live action about this movie is the ground. When watching a live action remake, I definitely want to see something brand new that brings something new to the story. This movie, however, does not do anything new to the story. This whole film is just a shot-for-shot remake of the animated Lion King movie, and somehow this movie is even longer than the original. I still do not understand how that runtime adds up to this. One of the things I didn't like at all with this movie is how so many of the characters seem to have lacked emotion. One of the advantages the animated movie had was that it could get away with a lot of unique and different emotions on the characters' faces. But with the live action movie, they're trying to go for a more realistic approach for the characters' designs. And doing that, it just takes away so much emotion from these characters because without animation, you can't really get a lot of emotional scenes out of these characters' expressions. But I think the thing I do not like the most of all when it comes to this movie is the fact that they get rid of the stick scene from the original film. The original movie had an amazing message that sometimes stuff just happens, but you gotta move forward in life and face your responsibilities. But with this movie getting rid of that whole scene, it just takes away so much of that amazing message that I feel like a lot more people need to listen to. It's such an amazing message. Still, the songs in this movie were pretty good. It was cool to see James Earl Jones reprise his role as Mufasa again, but this isn't my favorite live-action Disney remake. My favorite moment of this film has to be Timon and Pumbaa's distraction. I mentioned before I wish this movie had done more different and unique things that weren't the same from the original movie, but I will admit, when it did do something different and unique, it was pretty cute. I love the Be Our Guest song. It's one of my favorite songs from Beauty and the Beast, but I also get a good laugh out of this scene too when I see Timon about to sing the song, but then he gets suddenly cut off by the hyenas chasing after them. In my opinion, the distraction scene that Timon and Pumbaa do in this movie is honestly a lot funnier than compared to the original Lion King movie, but that's pretty much the only thing this movie does a little bit better than the original film. I give this film a 6.7 out of 10, giving it a D+. Anyway, that's a review. Go down to his comments, tell me what you thought of the Lion King 2019 film. Share this video with all your friends. And click that like and follow button to keep up to date with all my latest content. See ya!